All right, welcome everyone to our Wednesday Facebook Live. Joining with Paulie G. G'day, Paulie.
Good afternoon. How are we?
All doing very well and looking forward to discussing a topic that got some votes, which was great to see. Thanks everyone for putting your hand up for what you wanted to hear about today. And we're talking about win the morning, win the day. And both Paulie and I can share some of our experiences about morning routines and how that's impacted our lives. And it's quite amazing. I just know for myself, I've read tons of material, listened to loads of podcasts, watched lots of YouTube clips about morning routines, and it all sounds really cool and fun and engaging and things that I want to try, but never really spent a lot of time implementing it and doing it consistently. That is until the last 3 weeks, where I've put something in place, stuck to it, written it down and ticking it off morning by morning. And it's been super powerful. So looking forward to sharing kind of how I break down the hour of power in the morning, and also hearing from Paulie G what's been happening in your world and how do you set up your mornings.
Right. Looking forward to sharing, mate. What it was just from a top level, can I just ask you what the biggest difference you've found to be in your internal experience of creating a powerful morning routine?
I just feel like there's already been a sense of accomplishment. So it's 7 a.m. when I wake my daughter up, it feels like it's been a successful day, and it's basically just the start of the day. So I'm loving it, and I find that I'm excited to get up at 6 a.m. So I've been reading the 5 a.m. club, but I'm not there yet. So I'm joining the 6 a.m. club, and it works well at this point. But I'm excited and I'm motivated, and I just see that the kind of process of doing it each day and building that new habit, it's a sense of accomplishment, success, and just feeling great waking up my daughter, who's kind of always, we're waking her up. Fortunately, she's a great sleeper. And I get in there and I'm just kind of ready to go. And I just feel like that energy that I bring really has a certain kind of power and quality to it when I kind of come into her room and gently wake her up. Usually in the past, I've kind of laid down on the floor and gently wake her up while I try and gently nod back to sleep. A very relaxed way, but now there just feels like a different level of energy, and just loving it.
Yeah, that's awesome, mate. I mean, I see it like a muscle in a certain sense. Developing it day after day, you get to develop that strength in that 1 hour in the middle of the day that is yours and yours alone, and then you can use that to whatever capacity you want. Like to extend on the analogy of developing a muscle, you can then extend it to to the sport of parenting.
Love that. So talk me through your morning routine and how that sets you up for the day, and what you've explored, what works, what's been a challenge, and I'd love to hear a little bit about it.
Well, first I'll just mention, because it's particularly applicable today, my daughter tends to only wake up at about 7 o'clock on most days as well. So I have a good solid hour and a half that I give myself before she wakes up. And just to give you an essence of what I felt today, where she woke up early and I wasn't expecting it. I was really looking forward to that hour of power this morning. And when I had that in my sights and in my grasps, and to hear her in the background as I was coming out of the shower, it was a pretty deflating experience. And it kind of rattled me a little bit, because I was really prepared to have that, all those kind of ducks in a row ticked, because I'm developing this muscle. So that rattled me for a little bit. But in saying that, I'll just take you through what it is I tend to do on a good morning, and then a bare minimum as to what I do every morning when I wake up. So a good morning can look like, I wake up, I will prepare. Actually, I'm going to need to start the night before in order to give you the morning. So the night before, I set my coffee up on the stovetop coffee, and I also fill up a large glass of water right next to that coffee. So the moment I wake up, I get into the kitchen. I have this large cup of water that I'll just completely slug, turn the stove on low, knowing that it is going to finish boiling when I complete my shower. So that's all like engineered to perfection in my mind. In the process, I'll also lift my hand up above the pantry, take some coconut oil out, and swish it around in my mouth whilst I'm having my shower. I'll come out of the shower, spit the coconut oil into the bin. So
Can you
I'll
tell us
do it.
about what are the benefits of swishing coconut oil in your mouth?
Yeah, great question. So like the benefits of coconut oil pulling or oil pulling, it's an ancient Ayurvedic technique that has been used for centuries in various different parts of the world. But started from what I understand, it started in India. I think it started with sesame oil, but you can use different types of oils. I use coconut oil because it's available, and there's antibacterial qualities, and it draws a lot of the toxins out of your body, out of your mouth, and a lot, especially after a long night of sleeping and being in that sedentary position, you actually accumulate a lot of toxins in your mouth. So having a 5-minute oil pulling experience can do a tremendous amount for drawing those toxins out. So that's what I tend to do, and I spit it out before I prepare my coffee, which is just a long black. I bring the coffee into the living room where my computer, my laptop is set up on my ottoman, and right next to that laptop is a large 1-liter bottle of water that is filled with lemon and Himalayan sea salts. Now, the Himalayan sea salts tend to activate the water enzymes and enliven them a little bit, and they tend to just, nourish you in a more effective manner. So what I tend to do while that, so this is a long-winded experience, but it all happens really quickly. Because it's like down to a T. And what I've found the power of this morning routine is you can get so much into such a short period of time if you're like very purposeful and very time efficient about this all. Because if you notice, I'm, the coffee's cooking while I'm in the shower. I'm all oil pulling while I'm in the shower. I spit it out. I get the coffee. I put it on my next to my computer, and then I sit and I meditate for at least 3 minutes. And 3 minutes is a bare minimum for me. If I'm feeling more, it's just a cherry on top. But I need to make that meditation experience achievable, and I need to make it something that I know I'm going to be able to not feel intimidated by. So I'll sit and I'll meditate, and sometimes that waft of black coffee will just come through as I'm meditating, which can be alluring and sometimes a little bit, get my mind moving elsewhere. I'll complete that, and then I'll just sit and I'll have that cup of coffee. I'll have that first sip, and it'll taste oh so sweet. And then I journal while I'm having that cup of coffee for another 3 minutes. I'll do a 3 to 5 minute journal. And that's just a process of getting anything out of my head onto my computer or a piece of paper, whatever, people prefer to do. And within that journaling experience, I'll mention at least a couple of things that I'm grateful for that day. And whilst that can seem a little bit, woo-woo, it's an incredibly I see it as like strengthening a muscle again, and just opening up yourself to be grateful for things that are around you. And it's just a really great ritual for just being a happier person in my mind. So I'll do that. I'll interweave that within the experience of journaling. And then after that, I will sit down and write a plan for the day. And that can look like, that can be a parenting plan, that can be a time management plan, that can be, what I need to do for work throughout that day, just so I'm not leaving anything up to chance. So I'm not leaving anything up to a point where I'm like, searching throughout the day and feeling like I'm acting impulsively. And there's nothing wrong with acting impulsively. It's sometimes a great thing. But if you have the bones there, it can be quite a kind of a nourishing experience. And then I'll get to work if I've got time. That all happens within, after the shower, that all happens within under 10 minutes. So I then have time to, like get to work and smash out a good 40 minutes of work before I need to wake up little Edie, and away I go. So that's kind of where I'm at. I also, if I'm feeling like my body needs it, I'll also give myself 5 to 10 minutes of yoga, and that will be just a really great kind of enlivening, a few salutes to the sun, something like that, just to give my body a little bit of a gentle, energizing touch. So there was a lot there, but it's all done in a really condensed fashion. And I feel like it's like this little, I feel like every morning I go to like, Gwingana for 15 minutes for a little spa retreat. And then
And what's the impact on it, in terms of showing up to Edie and your wife, Nat, and clients? Like, what's the impact of having, dialed in a good morning routine and kind of taking care of yourself for a short period before you face the day?
Well, I feel like within a lot of those rituals, I've gone through a lot of the self-assessment tools and the self-assessment experience. So I'm not catching myself by surprise in any sense, because I've had that self-exploration, no matter how brief or extended it was, in that early morning period. And that just gives me something to be able to give more to the family. And I'm just ready. And especially the things like writing things that I'm grateful for in the morning just gives me that filter that I can then extend to the rest of the family. Obviously if I'm feeling tight, like doing some stretches within the yoga, it just can allow me to loosen up and just be ready there. Everything has its place, and everything is there because it's addressing something that I wanted to raise the level of in my life. And I think it's important on a more macro period of time to then sit down and take inventory of where your life is at when it comes to levels of levels of satisfaction and levels of balance. So if I feel like I'm imbalanced in the the emotional state or the physical state, I can address that and I can weight my morning routine appropriately. But it takes that time of self-inventory to be able to, step out of yourself to do that.
Love it. Amazing. It's amazing what you can fit in such a short period of time and get so much benefit and value.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of practice, but if you can just fine tune a few things to be able to get things working in conjunction with one another, you just feel like. And the other thing is you asked me what are the benefits of this. It's like you feel like you've actually, like me saying this, me spilling this out of my mouth right now, it's taken me how long? God knows how long. But like I was able to accomplish so much in such a short period of time. Like that's like pat on the back type stuff, you know. And you feel like you've really achieved something. It's like the whole making your bed in the morning, you know, being able to feel like you've achieved something first thing in the morning sets a pulse, sets a rhythm for the rest of the day. And that's why we've named this talk Win the Morning, Win the Day.
Yeah, amazing.
Would you like to share your morning routine, Dan? I'd love to hear about it.
Sure. Yeah. So I think for me, like a lot of the people that I follow and respect in this kind of health and wellness space all talk about having a really strong morning practice. And I just thought, like, I'm hearing it too many times for me not to try it. And so I took some time at the end of May and I just wanted to write down, like, what are some important things I want to bring into my day that I've been struggling to do because things get busy, things are unpredictable, and I can't seem to fit those things in. And when I looked at it, there were two things in particular I really wanted to bring into my life that I wasn't bringing in as consistently as I would have liked. And they were 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes of yoga and 15 to 20 minutes of reading. And just those two practices alone, I've wanted to bring in on a daily basis. Firstly, because I wake up every morning and maybe like you and possibly the other few hundred people in this group, just waking up stiff, waking up a little bit achy and uncomfortable in my body, and just like to just jump into life without a little bit of waking the body up. It just felt like I wasn't benefiting myself by just doing that. And yet I didn't kind of make a change, and I didn't try to stretch myself out before I face the day. So ever since I've been doing just short yoga classes, 15 to 20 minutes, I've found my body just feels really good, really, really loose. And because I'm doing it consistently, I'm not waking up feeling as tight, as stiff, as inflexible, and it's very, very noticeable. So I just can't see why I won't continue bringing that practice in. And if it means to like lose a bit of sleep to bring that in, it just means to go to bed a bit earlier the night before. And that's how I've kind of engineered it. I just need to go to bed earlier to wake up earlier. And then I can do that yoga practice, which I feel like gives me so much. And then in terms of reading too, it just doesn't always fit into the day, but at kind of 6:40 in the morning, it can be done. It's beautiful. It's quiet. It's silent. I've got the book in the place that I want it. I've got the couch set up as I need it from the night before. And it's just like, I know where I'm going. And I think that predictability is so important. It's like upstairs, there's a yoga mat, there's a place to put the computer, and I'm ready to go. I go downstairs. That's my period. Well, I guess I'll just kind of start from 6 a.m. when I do wake up, grab this next to my bed, drink that down, and then straight upstairs and do my roughly 15, 20 minutes of yoga, where I'll go downstairs and I'll spend 10 minutes where I'm making a coffee, which in itself is a beautiful ritual, a black coffee. And during that period when I'm waiting for the coffee, I'll do some breathing, and which is something as well that I haven't really ever brought into my life consistently. But now that I'm sitting there waiting, it's like, well, it's an opportunity to do something and make the most of these special minutes that I have. And then take the coffee and read for 20 minutes. And then by that time, it's probably 6:50. And then I'm taking a leisurely shower and washing my teeth. And I'm just ready to face the day at 7 o'clock. So I open the door and gently waking up my daughter. And it's just amazing how it feels like the day has begun in the most potent way, where I've accomplished things that I don't have to think about for the rest of the day. And I think that's something really powerful to bring to the group. It's like whatever can be achieved, at the start of the day isn't something playing on your mind during the day. And I just know, like for myself, I used to get really paralyzed by that. Like I need to fit in this many chin-ups, this much exercise, like all these things, reading, yoga. I mean, like there's a lot that all of us probably want to accomplish. So to get it done at the start of the day means that the day now is kind of more fresh, open, spontaneous, and whatever comes, you can meet it feeling like, well, you've already taken care of business. And I just love that. And everyone's inspired me that I follow to kind of bring that into life. And since doing that, I understand why. So I don't think I could have had this conversation 3 weeks ago. So I'm glad we're having it now, and look forward to bringing it in and refining it further so I can, take more advantage at this time. And it'd be amazing also just in any comments that anyone else had about what's working in their life and how a morning routine's kind of inspiring you in your days too.
That would be amazing. There was so much great stuff that I personally got from your ritual there. And, the one thing I kind of acknowledge within that time that is there in the first kind of peak productive time of the day is a lot of people say that that's lost time that you're bringing back. I see it as time squared. It's time that you have, but the productivity within that time and that time of the day without the distractions, it's not only time that you didn't have, but it's more potent because you don't have distractions, because you don't have the self chatter going on, telling yourself, like you said, oh, I've got to do these amounts of pull-ups, I've got to do this yoga session. So it's a really profoundly potent and important time in the day for me personally. And I'm so glad that you're seeing the benefits of it. And, using the time to do reading is something that I would love to introduce into my morning because, currently I'm trying to do reading before I go to sleep. And it's successfully acting as a Valium of sorts, because I'll get through about half to one page and I'll just be out, drool all over my chin. And so I'll be out until the morning, which is awesome, but I don't really get much into the book. So perhaps first thing in the morning is a really great time to do it because, I'm kind of cactus late at night.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's been very valuable. And sometimes I use the book also just to knock me out. So it's quite perfect too. Nice one. All right. So hopefully this has been helpful for everyone in the group, and just so we can hear from you if there's anything that's working in your world, in your life that you feel like would be valuable to share, that would be amazing. We really want to kind of design this platform so everyone can just share what's going on, ask questions, any breakthroughs, any struggles and challenges. And we just love to hear and support you through whatever it is that you're going through, and together as a group do that too. So yeah, look forward to doing this every week. Paul and I have put this in the diary and we're going to do it 1:30 p.m. in Melbourne time. And that's a great commitment, and saying that we're accountable to and for as well, wherever we are. And yeah, it's going to be exciting to join together each week. And yeah, love to hear also other topics that would be good to explore together too. Thanks, Paulie. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Dan. And we will see you all next week.
Hey guys, I just wanted to take a moment to talk to you about some friends of Hero. No matter what your postcode, Part&Parcel deliver on an ethically curated selection of healthy household staples at close to wholesale prices. So whether it's the knowledge that your olive oil has been cold pressed to maintain its antioxidant properties, or that your flour has been stone ground to retain its nutrients, they empower their members to make confident choices. Now, if this all sounds appealing to you, Part&Parcel is offering a 30-day free trial, and you can use the link below to get $25 off your first order. It's time to put your money where your values are.